IVF is a very grueling experience that I've been through twice in my life, and I do not wish to go through the third one. Thank God I did not. Ask anyone that have been through IVF, they will tell you how emotionally intense, how it will rack up your hormones, and a lot of emotional and challenging waiting time that need you to go through. Hold on. Before I continue, if you guys are new here, I would really appreciate if you can subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell, and also feel free to check out my other videos. They will also help you in your fertility journey. So let's get on with it. Hello lovelies. Today I will share with you 9 tips that help me to survive the stress of IVF. I've been asked these questions a lot of times and it's still a great one to answer, and I need to put out a video on how I survived the process. Number 1, talk to people who have been through IVF. Perhaps the most important thing that helped me was to talk to someone who had been through IVF process and succeed in it. Although the doctors and nurses educate you about all the steps involved, they don't help you to navigate the emotional side of the process. I had a family member who had been through multiple IVF treatments, and they were kind enough to meet up with me and to support me with all sorts of questions. I was so grateful to get their advice about it because there are so few people who get it, and it was nice to talk to someone who did it. Number 2, get a therapist. My acupuncture was my therapist, and she was kind enough and she was so calm, and the moment you see and talk to her, you felt the instant calmness straight away. After experiencing failures, I was stressed, tired and angry, and I tried very hard to power up myself, but I wasn't feeling fine at all. It wasn't until I met my acupuncturist, which not only act as my physicians but also my therapist. She specializes in people with infertility and she understands the whole process. She was a tremendous emotional support for me as I go through the process. Number 3, find support groups and communities to join. I broke down one day and I told my family I really need a support group, just like how a drug addict support group helped them to get up on their feet. I was so low at that point in my life and I just broke down, and somehow the following week I just typed in Facebook and found several support groups from all over the world. I joined 7 support groups to help me and connect with others who were in the same boat. I was so glad that I found those groups that can relate to me and can understand what I was going through. Number 4, write or journal your experience. I felt completely drained and awful in my journey, and I just couldn't find an outlet for this side of my life. So one day I just took out my book and started journaling, and as I continued to write, I felt somehow when I slowly addressed the wounds, the scars, the pain that I had, and as soon as I finished that page, I felt completely at ease. Not only it helps me with documenting my journey, it also helps me to have a clearer mind on my next thing to do. I do think there is real power in acknowledging exactly how you are feeling so you can address it and move on with it. Number 5, meditation. I've always been a Qigong practitioner, but I somehow forgotten about it during my first IVF. But when I failed my first IVF, I have trouble getting my mind to calm down and get on with things. I turned to Qigong and meditation, and I found out throughout when I followed it out throughout my IVF, it really helped me quite much with my thoughts, my focus, remaining calm throughout the process. It also helped me to sleep better, up to 12 hours during my IVF treatment. Number 6, rest and take care of yourself. Focus on resting and do a lot of self-care at this time. Refrain from going to activities that will drain a lot of energy or conversation that will hurt you at this time. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's one of the best things you can do to yourself to show love and grace to yourself during a difficult time. Take a nap, take a walk, focus on your well-being in getting through your treatments. Number 7, get the help you need. Get a part-time maid to clean the house before you go for your IVF treatment so that you can focus on yourself only that week. Ask your family or husband to prepare food for you or help you with heavy things in the house. Give yourself some love and close your eyes about keeping up with the housework. Number 8, tell the right people and set the boundaries. Some people can be open about it, but some people may not. in fear that they will get insensitive in remarks that can be bad at that moment of treatment. That was something that I would avoid. I didn't tell much to people because I didn't want to face the pain of telling people in case it didn't work. And I only told a few of my family members and close friends about it that I know will understand me at that moment. This is the group that will not be constantly questioning about your process, and they will only let us tell them when we are ready, and that really helped me a lot. There's no right or wrong approach to this, but consider who you want to tell and then let them know how and when you want to talk about the subject. Maybe you don't want people to ask you about it and you only want to focus and discuss on it and when you want to bring it up. Or maybe you don't want to talk about it at all, but you get to decide. Number 9, take one thing at a time. The hardest thing about IVF is anxiety of whether it will work or not this time. It's so easy to be affected by the test result, the side effects, and whether you are doing everything right. There will be a ton of waiting, and the reality is that it is all out of our control, and that is really hard to accept because especially when you want it so badly for it to work. The best thing you can do is to focus on your self-care. One thing that helped me was doing my journal and meditation in my journey. It helps me to identify the things that I'm grateful for and things that will make my journey better and focus on the action that will allow me to have a better self-care. This is what helped me through the IVF process. I cannot emphasize enough about self-care. Self-care is not selfish. It is your responsibility to your future. I hope this is helpful to you as you prepare for this process because I'm rooting for you. If you're interested in more videos like this, please click like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you'll be notified the next time when I upload new content.